motion. Pretty straightforward. Any questions? All good. I want to receive some feedback from you because I'm not sure if you can follow me because we are having the online session. So sometimes due to a network issue, not all of you can follow my steps. Or yeah, already did. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you, Ali. Thank you. So you can see if you cannot copy and paste, just go to Hyper-V. Then go to Hyper-V settings. Make sure the two options has been taken. All right. Okay. This is the first issue. Okay. Now we are going to turn it off, and I'm going to remove it to repeat the lab 2. Because I can see some of you told me, okay, your handbook is so confusing. So I want to make it clear for you. You can see in my Hyper-V is totally clear and totally clean, nothing left. But when you go to the folders you created before, you can see, although I have removed the 2 virtual machines, the hard disks are still there. This means the Hyper-V only help us to remove the configuration files for virtual machines. It will not remove the existing hard disks. That's why we can reuse them, right? We can reuse them. So when you go, when you have a look at my handbook 2, the first section is called preparation. The preparation tell you want to copy and paste, and then you can reuse the existing hard disk. That is the one. That is the one. So okay. So when you use the script to create the new virtual machine, the first step is to create a switch. Because on Monday we just create one virtual machine, so we don't connect it to network. So it doesn't matter. We do not have any switch. But now, especially for our test, we want to allow the 2 virtual machines to transmit files between each other, to communicate between each other. So we do need a switch to connect the 2 virtual machines, right? So here, the first step is to create a switch. You will specify the switch name here. So this is a variable to specify the switch name. It could be any name, but without the spaces here. If you use bold test switch like this one, should be a issue. So instead, let me change it to find nice switch, right? So and then you can just copy it and go to the host computer, right? The switch does not belong to any virtual machine. It belongs to your environment. So the environment is your host computer. We go to host computer, test. So if you can receive such kind of information, it's correct. So you may want to try it again. It's also correct. If you try it again, it's still correct, right? But in the future, you will have an issue because in the future, when you create a new virtual machine, you want to connect that virtual machine to this switch. But according to my demonstration, I have created 3. So actually, which one is the correct one? It's confusing. So it's confusing file script. So you will receive a error or a warning message here. So to double check if you have created the switch correctly, you just simply go to Hyper-V and go to here, the virtual switch manager. Could you follow me? Go to the virtual switch manager, and then you can tell how many switches you have and what's the name for each one. So you can say this one is redundant, just remove it, redundant, remove it, redundant, remove it. For each unique name, we keep only one switch, right? Okay, so I just click OK, and when I go back again, only 3 switches left. And the one I'm going to use is called finance switch. Okay. This is the first step. Pretty straightforward. And the next step is to create the virtual machine. So within the second piece of source code, we have the instruction here. And also we have the reference source code. The first piece is to create the first virtual machine called accounting. Second one is to create the second virtual machine called legal doc, right? So here, when you create a new virtual machine, you will specify its name, its MAC address, its CPU number, its memory size, network adapter name, and which switch we want to connect to. Make sense? And also, if you create a new virtual machine, you don't want to create a hard disk from scratch. Because if you create a hard disk, you will need to install the operating system again. So as what I have demonstrated before, when we remove an existing virtual machine, we will not remove the hard disk. The hard disk is still here, so you can reuse them. Just if you want to reuse them, for example, here I want to reuse. Maybe I change it to test one. I want to reuse test one, but in my source code it is mere accounting. So how to do that? You can change the test one to mirror cutting, or here you can change it to test one. Double check they are consistent with each other, right? That's a solution. Okay, let me give you an example. See what happened. Now I want to create a virtual machine with existing hard disk, but the hard disk name is incorrect. Have a look at it. It's incorrect, right? So let's see what happened. Okay, we copy the first part, and then we go to PowerShell. Wait for a while. You do have an issue. As what I have said, the issue come from the virtual hard disk, right? If you have a look at it, you will see the hard disk cannot be found. Then the solution is go back here to check if you still have that hard disk. If not, we change its name and then we repeat it again. It works, right? Okay, this is the first part. We set up the new virtual machine and then we set up the number of CPU and the size of the memory. We just copy and paste. So after that, if you go back to Hyper-V, we have a new virtual machine here called Mail Accounting. And if you go to its settings, you can see we have a 2 GB of memory, 4 vCPU allocated. And also you can see we have a default network adapter. So even we do not set up network adapter, the Hyper-V will add one by default automatically. So we do not want to have it. Then that's why we want to remove it. So have a look at this one, network adapter. If I change it to network adapter one, you will have a issue. That's because the network adapter name is different from the one used in your script, right? So change it back to the identical name and then remove the existing network adapter. Okay, I would like to show you again. There's no network adapter now. Now, the next step is to add a new network adapter. When you add a new network adapter, you will specify the network adapter name, virtual machine name, the switch name you want to connect to, and also its MAC address. So here, you copy and paste. See, guys, it will work or will not work? Could you give me an answer? Okay, again, no one respond. I'm so sad. Yes or no? Here. Let's see. No. Oh, I'm frustrated. I have tried so many times. Why I still have an issue? Right?
I don't
So,
know. I tried as well.
yeah. What happened here?
I don't know.
Okay, you don't know. I have no idea. So what's the solution? Okay,
Okay.
have a look at here. The switch name is boot test switch. So let's recall which switch I have created here. Finance switch.
Yeah.
You have a finance switch, but you want to connect to boot test switch.
Mm.
That's the issue. So each time when you have a issue, read the feedback carefully. It tells you Hyper-V cannot find a switch with the name Vertex switch. And then suddenly you will recognize that, okay, that is not a boot switch, that is finance switch, right? So the solution is we change it to finance switch. And then we do it again. It works. That is how to debug our issue, right? And the next two lines of source code is to enable the nested virtual machine. No one asked this question, so it should be fine, right? That is uh, how we set up the first virtual machine by script. So I will start from scratch to show you how to do that again. So before you do that, make sure you have carefully checked everything. Like sometimes you will use the double quotes, and I do have some students, they would like to have another one. Okay. Can it work? Yes or no?
No.
Obviously, no. If you want to declare a string, you will either use single quote to include it, or you use double quote. Make sense? Yeah. That should be an issue. And sometimes when you copy, you do not copy from this line, and you copy it from here. That would be another issue. So do not go straight to copy and paste unless you are a professional like me, right? So like me, I would like to copy and go to the Hyper-V. Let's put everything in Scratch in one base and just go. You will have a runnable virtual machine here. So if you can better design or well design all the parameters, it should be easy for you to do experiment too. Make sense? So trust yourself. You can make it. Okay. So we have conducted the first part, which is to create the accounting virtual machine. We also want to create another virtual machine called, what's the name for it? LegalDoc, right? But you can check again. The LegalDoc, the hard disk has a different name here. So we change its name to LegalDoc. And also we double check CPU, the memory, network adapter name, the switch name is still incorrect. So we change it. Finance switch. If everything is fine, okay. If you trust yourself, copy and paste. Count 1, 2, 3. Okay, just the 2. In 2 seconds, we have finished it. It's so easy, right? But it's really not that easy for you. I fully understand that. Because I have tried it for nearly 50 times. Yeah. Okay. Now the next step is to log into the system to set up the IP address. The same as the real world. In real world, if you want to set up the IP address for your desktop or laptop, you always start up your computer, log into the system, and then set up the IP address, right? So similarly, if you want to set up the IP address for the virtual machines, you always need to log into them. So here we log into the first one, E627. And then I have copied it. If you have no idea how to have a copy of the folder, I would like to demonstrate it again, which is very funny. Copy, paste. Let's see. Okay. So maximize the window. And then this is the virtual machine one, right? The mail accounting virtual machine. So we start up the PowerShell. I would like to adjust it a little bit to allow all of you to see it clear enough. This is the PowerShell. Adjust it. Okay, within the I have downloaded it from the Collaborate, so you can download it again. So you can double check here. We do have some parameters pre-designed. Make sure those parameters are identical with the parameters you defined before. For the mail accounting, its name is mail accounting, and its MAC address is 6F65, 6F65. Let's simply change it to 6F67, right? And let's see what happens if we set up a IP address, but the IP address is not 101, it's 1010, which is absolutely is incorrect, right? Okay, let's try it. First of all, we execute it to find out the current network adapter name. Okay, nothing happens. And then we go here to add a new IP address. Oh, it says the IP address is incorrect, right? New IP address is incorrect. That's fine. We revise it. We revise it to 101, but it's still incorrect. What happened? Any suggestions? Any response, everyone? Okay, let me rephrase. When you create a network adapter, each network adapter will have a unique MAC address. So before you log into this virtual machine, you design a MAC address 6F, I think it is 6F65, right? 6F65. And then this piece of source code here, this piece of source code is to use this 6F65 MAC address to find out a correct network adapter and then retrieve its index, maybe 0, maybe 1, maybe something else. But when you design it, you use the 6F65. But when you retrieve it, you use the 6F67. So obviously, you cannot retrieve it. If you cannot retrieve it, how can you assign a IP address to it? Make sense? So, for example, if I use netif, the netif is empty. This means you didn't retrieve it correctly. That's because when I retrieve it, I used the 6.7. So if I clear everything from scratch, so I use the same MAC address to retrieve it, it should work. Let me show you. It works, right? And the next line of source code is to rename the network adapter from original name to the new name. The new name is called Finance NRC. You can see here, by default, its name is Ethernet 7. And now I want to rename it. After that, if you check by RP configure, RP configure all to show up all the parameters, you can say its name becomes to finance in IC, right? Okay. After that, we because this is comments, and the last one is to add a new rule to your firewall to allow ping each other, right? Otherwise, even you have a correct IP address, they cannot ping each other because the ping has been banded by a firewall. So we add a new rule to enable the ping operation. So if you can receive OK, this means you have successfully set up the IP address for the first virtual machine. Okay, we keep it running. We will use it in the future. We start up the second one. So wait for a while. Right, this is the second virtual machine, right? Oh, still starting. This is the second virtual machine, and okay, we go to PowerShell again, adjust its font size. This is optional for you, but compulsory for me. Okay, we go to the shared source code, go to the last part. The last part is to set up the other IP address for the second virtual machine, right? So this is the new IP address. Make sure that this IP address is consistent with the previous one. Let me compare the two. For the first virtual machine, its IP address is 111.101. So that's why here is 111.102. For the gateway should be identical, right? And for the MAC address should be different. So after we double checked everything, what are we gonna do is copy and paste. Oh, we have an issue. What issue? Oops, something went wrong. Please report this bug. What bug? Just close it and open it up again. Okay. So after a few seconds, an attempt was made to create an object, and object name is already exists. Okay, that's good. That's good. So this is a new issue, right? So maybe it is a good idea that we just copy line by line to make sure what line has such kind of issue. Copy this line, nothing happens. Copy this two, nothing happens. Assign a new IP address. Oh, yeah. Whoa. Rename adapter has a issue. Does this mean we cannot rename it? I got it. Okay. So let's have a look at this piece of source code. Rename network adapter. It should be correct, right? The first parameter is which computer you want to rename, which network adapter you want to rename, and this is the new network adapter name. Do we have any values for this variable? At present, no. That is why we receive such kind of issue. So when we compare it against the third one, here, we also want to rename the rename network adapter, but the network adapter has been retrieved here. But now, have we done that? I think we have done that before. Okay. Okay, to solve this issue, we just simply output the variable name, net name, and see, we do have it. RP configure all, and this is Ethernet 4, so it should be correct. Rename network adapter. Just double check. Rename net adapter. And do it again. New name. Okay, let me double check name one. Finance one. Attempt was made to create an object, and object name already exists. Do we have two? No. Next, if I fully understand your difficulties now, right? Okay, we reuse the source code here because the source code are identical, you can see, right? So we copy from the third field. Where's my third field? Oh, ridiculous. We copy it from here because they are identical. And when we copy it here, the same issue, net name. Anyway, we skip this operation because this operation is to change the name of network adapter. We just go to the next step to set up the DNS server and DNS server. It's correct, and then we enable the ping operation. It's still okay, right? So now when we put the two together, I mean, one is the second. This is the first the first virtual machine. This is the second virtual machine, and both of them we start up the PowerShell. In the first one, use RP configure to find out its IP address 101. The second one, RP configure, is 102. Okay, within 102, we ping 9192.168.111 port 101. We can ping this one, and within this one, we use ping 192.168.111 port 102, right? To pin the second virtual machine. It works too. So all the above are what we're gonna do within the test. Do you mean within the test that are what we're gonna do? Okay. So let's go back to solve more problems within the experiments too. So within the experiments, you will go to the Hyper-V. Do we have a Hyper-V installed? For this one, not yet. Not yet. And then you can go to here. If you haven't installed the Hyper-V, just go to the server manager and then add rules and features. If you have installed it, it doesn't matter. So we go to here, add next, until we have the Hyper-V. Click it, add features, and next, and next, and next. Keep everything as it is. You can configure it, but I just want to save your time. So it will take a few minutes to set up and restart, and then you will have a Hyper-V installed, right? I remembered for this virtual machine, I do have a Hyper-V installed, so we will use this one as an example. I don't want to spend another 5 minutes to install the Hyper-V. So what you're gonna do is to remove the current one, and then right click, new virtual machine, and here next one virtual machine name 1.1. Here, have a look at it, please. 1.1. Okay, next generation 2, right? And the next, this is the memory, and the next is the network connection. It doesn't matter. And the next is to create a new virtual hard disk. By default, the hard disk name is the same as the virtual machine name. So let's recall that I have removed a 1.1, and when I remove 1.1, I didn't remove the existing hard disk. So there should be already a VM 1.1 there. So when I click next, 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 I cannot set up this virtual machine. What's the reason? An idea?
Yeah, similar.
Yeah, the issue is within the folder here, you have already received such kind you have already have that hard disk there. You can see you have already created it before. You need to remove it to keep that folder empty, and then you can click next, 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 next. Right? But at present, we didn't install any operating system. We have two solutions to install operating system. The first solution is because the virtual machine is existing, you will go to settings and go to here, add a new DVD drive. Make sense? Within the DVD drive, go to image files, browse, and browse the RSO file. You download it or you copy it. This is the solution 1. Solution 2 is when you set up a new virtual machine, we do have a option to set up the operating system. So okay, let me show you how to do that. And connect next again, and we will create a new virtual hard disk. And at this time, instead of using the default option, we change it to the second one. We will install a operating system with a RSO file, and then specify the ISO file that you have, and then click next. I do not have a ISO file, so that's why it's empty. Maybe we can just put it a fake one. This is a fake one, abc.rso. I just want to go to next step, right? Go to next step and finish. You will have the you will create the VM 1.2, but it will tell you we have an issue because we obviously we do not have the driver.c abc.iso file. So you will download it or have a copy from the host computer, and then you can have it. So when you set up the ISO file correctly, just double click and then click start and press any key. It will tell you to install the operating system. At present, it is telling me failed because we do not have any we do not have any ISO file, and this issue was caused by the memory, not enough memory in the system. Okay, this is also a common issue. Let's have a look at it. When we go to the settings, the memory is 1 gigabyte, right? Let's recall that when we set up the LegoDock virtual machine, its memory is 2 gigabyte. But you will not allocate all those memories to your nested virtual machine. So part of the memory will be used by the operating system. So generally, Windows 2019 will occupy 1.5 gigabytes of memory. If it occupied 1.5 gigabyte of memory, then only half gigabyte can be used by 1.1. But you have allocated 1 gigabyte rather than 1.5, rather than half gigabyte, right? So if you change it to a very smaller one, hopeful we can start it up. You can see the memory issue has been solved. The next issue is we do not have operating system, right? Yeah, that's it. That's it. Any questions right now? Hello, everyone. Are you still there?
Yes, we're here.
Okay, okay. Any questions?
No, it's fine right now.
Okay, okay. That's fine. Yeah. If no further questions, we can yeah, we can quit the Zoom meeting now, and I have finished my demonstration. So most of those steps that I have demonstrated will be used in the test. You know, if you have a look at the test, let me see if I can share the test with you. Could you see my screen with Collaborate?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, okay. That's good. Thank you. So we go to NRT 3222 and the learning space. And this is the practical test, right? So next Monday, you will have a more detailed questionnaire for your test. We have finished my, I have finished my one. Oh, I forgot to hide it. Otherwise, you will be able to find out my questionnaire. Okay, that's fine. So you can see, during the practical test, we will give you a application scenario, and you do have a example of the application scenario in yesterday's lecture, right? The finance department, right? So based on the application scenario, you will analyze the requirement and then transform the requirement into technical requirement. And the technical requirement will describe the requirement about the virtual machine, the CPU, the memory, the hard disk, and so on. But it's still not detailed enough. Then you will design a more detailed solution for your implementation, including the computing systems and so on. So you can see after that, you will design your source code here. You will design your source code and then you execute your source code to create those virtual machines. And the last step is to ensure that all the created virtual machines, they can ping each other, right? So first of all, the design is quite important. If you cannot have a very good design, you will have a lot of issue. Just like what I have demonstrated before. Maybe you have an incorrect file name. Maybe you have an incorrect folder name. Maybe within your folder you have a actual space or something. So you will carefully design all those parameters in your source code. And also you will carefully design how much resource can be allocated to each virtual machine. Let's take the VM 1.1 as an example. In total, each host computer has 2 gigabytes. So we cannot allocate more than half a gigabyte to a nested computer. Within our lab, in total, we have 32 gigabytes of memory. So you cannot allocate more than 30 gigabytes to all your virtual machines. Otherwise, you will have an issue like memory is not enough or something. So similarly, you cannot allocate too many hard disk space to your virtual machines because we have only around 100 gigabytes available. Make sense? So you will carefully think about the requirement, you will carefully design them, and then design your detailed parameters like 4 CPUs, 5 CPUs, 6 CPUs, and so on. And then implement, put those parameters into your source code and double check your source code and then execute your source code. If your source code is correct, I promise you will create the 2 nested virtual machines within 1 minute. So the experiments is pretty easy. The most important part is the design. I can tell why most of you suffer from many different problems, because different of you used different parameter. So different parameter, you will have different issues, right? That's my gut feeling, but maybe not true. Okay, so now I will give you opportunity to share your screen. If you want to ask me to help you debug your program, you can share. You can let me know, and then you can share your screen to us. I will remote control your computer to solve your issue. I think we have another 30 minutes to go. Any questions, everyone? No?
Hi, Bo. I thank you for your sharing.
No worries. That's my pleasure.